Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today we are going to be answering ICT paper 3 June 2022. Yeah, we're going to answer what the group 1 did. Okay, so the question is as follows. Task A, spreadsheet 18 marks. Open the sales workbook in the candidate folder. The workbook contains 3 worksheets, all sales and summary. In question 1 to 9 are based on the sales sheet. So let's just open our workbook. So the workbook is found in our candidate folder, and our candidate folder is found on what? The desktop. So I come to my desktop, I can see here the candidate folder, so I click on it. There is my sales workbook, I click on it. So it has opened. Close this. Then now they're telling us that from question 1 to 9 we are going to be using the sales sheet. Then they say 1, change the font type of the first row in bracket showing SN name 3% discount and so on to Algerian. So we come to our workbook, we make sure we're on the sales sheet. Then now they say we should change the font type of this row containing SN name 3% discount and so on. So to do that, we first select. How do we select? I want to start from here, so I put I make that my box to be there. Then I left click and then I drag up to the region that I want. So up to here, then I come up here. This is where you change the font type, and this for the font size. So they tell you we should put the font type to be what? The font to be Algerian. So I type Algerian. So that's it. Then the next question says insert borders in the range A1 to G25. To do that also we have to select. So I come to A1, I left click, and then I come to A1, I left click, then I drag up toward G25. So here's my G25. So if you want to insert borders is found on your home menu. You ensure that you're on the home tab, then you come here down, just down the font type, you see this box, click on this arrow, then you take what? All borders. So now you can see that each field is what is filled with borders. Okay, so the next question, adjust the name field width to 138 pixels. So this is where we adjust the one. This is the name field width. This is the name. The one that should adjust it to 138. So come here between B and C. We'll see this plus with an arrow going to the left and the right. We'll left click. When you left click, you can discover that it shows up that the width is what? Now we are actually at 248 pixels, but we want to have what? 138. So shift it until you reach the value that we needed. So yeah, 138. Good. So that's it. The next question. Insert a formula in the 3% discount field to calculate the discount for each item bought. This discount is 3% of the product of the unit price and the quantity. Means that to calculate the discount, I take 3% of what? The product of the unit price and the quantity. So the 3% discount. When you write your formula, always start with equals to, don't forget. So it's equals to what? 3% of means times of what? The product of the unit price times what? The quantity. Then I press enter, it gives my answer. I come right down where I see this small plus, I drag so that I should do the same thing for all. Good. Then now in my question, they say write down the formula in cell C4. Now they say should write down the formula that we use in cell C4. So this is the formula. Equals to, in your booklet you also start with equals to 3% times what? Z4 times what? E4. So that's the formula. That's what you have to write in this case. 5. Insert a formula in the payable total field to calculate the total price for each sales. The total is calculated following the algorithm below. Multiply the unit price by the quantity to get the total price. Then subtract 3% discount from the total price above. So that's the algorithm. So payable total, they say we first multiply, we start with equals to, we multiply the unit price times what? The quantity to get what? The total. Then minus what? The 3% discount to get the total payable. So that's it. And I drag for all. I drag for all the other fields. Okay, so that's it. Write down the formula in to calculate the payable total in F12 in the line below. So the asking us that we should give the formula that we use for F12. Here's my F12 here. So I just copy this formula. Z12 times E12 minus C12. So that's it. And don't forget to start with equals to. All formulas in Excel always start with equals to. Okay, 6. Calculate the total of 3% discount and total of the payable total in row 25. Write down the formula in cell C25. Okay, let's go then. So this is our 3% discount and this is our payable. So the one that we should calculate the total for each of them and put it in cell C25. So put it here. There's a shortcut just to calculate, to sum all of this. You just come here to auto sum. It writes you the formula for you and you press enter. And the same thing for the payables. I click there, then I take what? Auto sum and enter. So now the asking us the formula that we use in cell C25. That's what equals to what? Sum from C2 to what? C24. So that's what we write in our booklet. The next, set the font row. Set the font of row 25 bold and size 14. So this I should put this to bold of this row. So I select the row first. I put it to bold, and the size, this is where they change size to 14. So okay, that's 14. Good. The next, ensure that you have written down the formula in cell in the cell in question 4, 5 and 6 before attempting the question that follow. 8. Rearrange the field columns in the sheet to occur in the order SN: name, item, unit price, quantity, 3% discount, and payable total. Okay, so as we see, it started with SN good, then followed with name, then follow with item, not 3% discount. So where's our item? Here's our item. So this column containing item has to be in the place of the 3% discount. So how we do to interchange them? We select all the item. We select. Then we press shift. You come down where you see this plus with four arrows, up, down, left, and right. Then you left click, and you move, So this is where we have to put the item after the name. So I leave. If I leave, okay, they'll send me a message. I confirm. Okay, now you can see that after name is what? The item. Now they say after the item is supposed to be the unit price. So I do the same thing for unit price. After the item is supposed to be unit price. After unit price is quantity. So I just do the same thing for the both. I select the region. I come down here. I press shift and then I left click and I drag using my mouse. So it has to be here. Good. In the middle, after the item, so I allow. They have to send a message. I confirm. Good. So now it goes there. So this is what they're asking us to do. We arrange it: SN, name, item, unit price, quantity, 3% discount, payable total. Yeah. Good. The next. 9. Format the numbers in the range D2 to G25 to 1000 separator without decimal place. So also select the region D2 to G25. So you format it to 1000 separator. So I just click on this arrow going down. This pops up. I go to number. I put what? Use 1000 separators. They say no decimal place. So in the place of decimal place, I'll put 0. Then I click on OK. So that's it. The next exercise are based on the old cells and summary sheet. Insert a field color light blue to the cells that make up the field name in both sheets. The both sheet that we're working now with is the old sales and the summary. So they say we should insert a field color of light blue to the cells. Okay, let's go there. Let's start with the old cells. So yeah, the cells that makes the heading. So this is it. We select, we come to fill. where we see a bucket with pen throwing out. Fill color. We click on the arrow beside, and then we take light blue. And we have to also do the same thing for the summary. We select and we click here. Okay, so it has been done. Okay, the next question says sort the table in other cells by item. So that we say in other cells we should sort this table by what? The item. So to sort it, you select the column, then you make sure you're on your home menu. You come at the end here towards find, you see an icon with sort and filter. You click on the arrow beside. If you just tell it to sort, means that it is in ascending order. So you click the first from A to Z, that's ascending order. Now after you want to sort, yeah, you click on sort, so you sort it now. Now you see it starts with bubble, then cable, cutlass, floor rack, gallon, handsaw, and so on. It is in alphabetical order. The next 12, in C2, in the summary sheet, type a formula to link C2 to a cell in all cells that contain the unit price of spanner. Do similar for the cell in the range sheet C3 to C9. Write down the formula in cell C5 in the line below. Okay, let's go there. They say in the summary sheet in cell C2, yes, cell C2. So they say we should write a formula that will link what? Okay, here it's supposed to be spanner. It's typing out when I put spinner. Spanner. They say we should type a formula that will link this item here in the summary sheet to the unit price in the whole cell. So we just start with what? Equals to. We'll come to our whole cell. We'll look where we have spanner. So these are spanners and these are the unit price. I just click on one and press enter. It comes here 900. I do the same thing for gallon. Equals to. I go to my whole cells. Where's the unit price of gallon? Here is it. I click on it and press enter. Cutlass, the same thing. Go to all cells. Where's my cutlass? Click on it, enter. Floor rack equals to, come to all cells. Floor rack, that's F. Floor rack. Okay, yes, floor rack. Click on it, enter. Handsaw equals to, come to all cells. Handsaw 3000. Padlock. Do the same thing. Cables. Bobs. Okay, so that's it. So now they're asking us to write the formula that we use in cell C5. So we just click on it. That's what equals to, always start with equals to. So we want to link it to which what it's in a different sheet. That's why I have to specify the sheet. That's what the O says. When you specify the name of the sheet, you end it a semicolon with an exclamation mark, and then you give now the cell reference, and that value is found in D12. So this is what you have to write in your booklet. Yeah. The next question says in the summary sheet, type a formula in D2 that will add the total quantity of spanners sold as declared in the other cells. Do similar for the cells in the range D3 to D9. Write down the formula in cells D2 in the line below. Okay, here they say we want to calculate the total quantity of spanners bought, gallons bought, cutlasses. Cutlasses don't have S E at the end. Cutlasses, floor rack, handsaw, padlocks, cable. Yeah, so want to calculate the total, and it is the quantities are being found here in a table of all cells. Like here, you can see that somebody with number 4 bought what 220 bobs, another one bought 18, another one bought 15. So now one by the total, want to sum all it to give the total. So what we do? So here where you want to sum, but we have a condition. We're going to use the formula what? Sum if. So you don't forget your equals to. Put your equals to and say sum if. You use sum if you have a condition. So now sum if takes the range where it will take the range where what it takes the range where the criteria will be checked. So the range where the criteria will be checked is here. That's from what C to C2 to C24. Then I put my comma. I put the criteria. So the criteria, it should be equal to, if inside this range I've selected, in C2 to C24 in the old cells, if I find something like what a spanner, I add it. So spanner in my summary sheet, spanner is in D2, so I put D2. Then I put comma. I put now what the sum range, where is it will sum on which range? That's on the quantity, so I select it too. Good. Oh, okay. This select it. Okay, good. Then I lock my bracket and press enter. Okay, before one. Okay. Yes, in your, they say careful. Okay, click on okay. There's a problem with the formula. Okay, yeah, there's a problem with our formula because in spanner is not found in D2. It's in where we're writing our formula is in D2. Our spanner is found in cell B2, so here has to be B2. So that's where the error was. Yeah, B2, and then press enter. So here now you see it gives the total for what spanner. We'll have to do the same thing for gallon, but we'll not go and be typing again each time. What we'll do is that the range on which it checks the criteria doesn't change, it remains the same. So if you drag this formula down, the values here will change. Here will go to 3 and here will go to 25. And if you don't want it to change, you put a $ in between what the letter and the number. But now this the cell that we're checking the criteria, it has to change, because when I go down to gallon, it's supposed to be what B3. So here we'll leave this one, don't put no $. Then here the sum range has to remain the same. So I also put $. There. And enter. Then I drag it for all. So now here, if I enter here, you see the range is still the same from C2 towards C25, but this guy has changed to B9. Is okay. So if you don't want something to change, you put a $ in between what the letter and the number. Yes. Okay, so that was it. Okay, they say yes, this is similar for this. Write down the formula in cell D2 in the line below. You just copy this formula D2. You just copy this formula in your booklet. Yeah. Okay, the next. Print the 3 sheets of this workbook: sales, all sales, and summary. Here to print, I'll advise you to do a print screen and you paste it in a Word document, because in the hall your machine will not be directly connected to a printer that you can just print it from there. So you do a screenshot or a print screen and then you paste it in a Word document. So let's do that. Let's start with our first table. That's the sales table. To do, okay, we would use the size. Okay, this value is not showing because the field width is small, so we can increase it. So to print it, how do we do? To do a print screen, we do control print screen, then open a Word document or a text editor. Then I do Control V to paste. So that's the first table. You do the same thing for the second. You can reduce it for the table to that you can see all. Okay, here the value is not showing because it's so big. You can just increase the field. Yeah. So Control print screen. I'll go back to my Word document and I paste there. Control V. I do for the next table, which is the summary table. Control print screen. I go to my Word document, Control V. So is this Word document I'll print and contains all my 3 tables. And don't forget to save it to your candidate folder. To save your candidate folder, you come to File, you go out to Save As, then you choose Computer. Your candidate folder, you browse for the location. Your candidate folder is found in the desktop. You click on desktop and here is candidate folder, then you open. then click on save. They have saved it inside your candidate folder. So that was it. Okay, we're done with this one. We can save and look at table. So that was what came for the spreadsheet part. Then let's see tax B. Tax B is on programming, 17 marks. They say the algorithm given by a student to solve a certain problem is as follows. So we start output. When they say output, is what is displayed to the user. So it will display to the user that give the unit price of the item. Input is what the user will enter. So the user will enter the unit price and stores it in U. He enters it from the keyboard. Then it is displayed back on the screen that it should give the quantity of items, but and he will enter the quantity and stores it in cure. Then it will set the total, it will compute the total T which is equals to U times cure, the unit price times the quantity. Then it prints T. So now here this is, and it stops. So now they say 1, explain the objective of the algorithm. Explain the objective of the algorithm. So our algorithm here is what you say. It takes the unit price and the total quantity is to calculate the total. Algorithm here is to calculate the total cost of an item. Okay, you write it. I wanted to write it here, but it's not given. So the objective of this algorithm is to calculate the total cost of the different items bought. 2, identify the variables and give their respective data type of the program that will implement the above algorithm. So here they say we should give what? They say we should give variables present. Okay, let me take this in text to write. So a variable is something that you can store something inside. You can store a value inside. Here we say we store the unit price in U and we store the quantity in Q. So our variable 1, it is U. Okay. Variable 2 is Q. And the unit price is what? It's just a price, right? It can't take decimal numbers. Means it is what? The data type. Data type means which type of values can it hold. Means that the data type will be what? Integer. Integer. And for the data type for the quantity, also the quantity is just a whole number. You cannot buy about 3.5 beignets. It doesn't make sense. It's a whole number. You can buy 4 beignets, 5 beignets, yeah. So it's a whole number. So it's also what? An integer. Yeah, so that's what the different data types and their variables. The variables and the data types. 3. Which control structure has been used in the algorithm? So what do we see in our algorithm? We have no decision. It follows step by step. It get the unit price, then it get the quantity, it compute the total, and then it prints. So here it is what? A sequential control structure. It follows what? Line by line, step by step. So it's sequential control structure. 4. Implement the algorithm above using C or Pascal programming language. You will be evaluated based on the following aspects: declaration of variables, presentation of input/output instructions, process instructions, understanding of syntax. Save your code using the file name calculator. Compile and execute using the following tests: data U equals to 11, Q equals to 7, and right. Okay, let's first finish with 4. So 4, so we should implement what? Our algorithm in a program using any of the programming language. So we're going to use what? C. And to type C code, to type C programs, you use either what? Def C or code block. So either one of them will be installed on your machine. So you can just go to the search and search. So either Def C, I have Def C, so I open my Def C++. You can either have Def C or what? Code block. Good. So it has opened. I open a new file. Control N shortcut to open a new file. The first thing that you have to do is to include you're a library, which is a library of what that contains the input and output. So you say hashtag include stdio.h. What does this mean? This means that we're including a library, a standard input output library. What does this mean? The standard input output library is a library that contains functions for what? For input and for output. Input is what you enter into the machine. If in your program you have to enter something in the machine, you have to include this library. Or if you want your program to print something to the screen, you also have to what? Include what? This library, because in this library there are already functions for that. To print something on the screen, you use printf. To ask something from the user, you use scanf. So these functions have already been defined inside this library. So now to be able to use them, you have what? To include what? The library. So that's why we start by including the library. Then now we start our main program. Int main. Okay, so the first step now in our main program, we declare our variables. So I have what? The unit price, which is u. I have the quantity, which is q, and I have the total, which is t. Good. Then I will display on the screen using printf. We tell the user to what? Enter the unit price. Enter the unit price. Then \n, you should go to the next line after printing that. Then any semicolon. So this is what will show on the screen. Now we have to collect that value. To collect that value, we use scanf. So now as we define our unit price to be an integer, the machine recognizes an integer as what? %g. So put %g comma, and we store the value in the unit price. We do the same thing for the quantity. Printf, then open quotes, enter the quantity of items bought \n. Yeah, oh, don't forget any semicolon. Then scanf, it is also an integer. We'll put %g, and that value that you collect, that integer, it collects an integer from the user and it stores it in here. That's for the quantity. Then now it computes the total to be equals to what? The unit price times what? The quantity, and semicolon. Then now it prints back the value of what? The total to the user. We can put the total is so if I put t here, it's t that also appear on the screen, but I want the value of t to appear, the value itself. So the machine knows a integer by %g, so put %g. Then we'll come out from the code to put comma. In the place of %g, it puts the value of what? T, and with semicolon. So now here in our main, we begin our main with int. This at the end of our main program, we have to return an integer. So put return 0. But if you never put nothing here, just put your main and stay right, you don't return nothing. So here's it. Then now let's run and compile and run. They told us to save it as calculator, and make sure that you have to save it, but in your candidate folder. Here you change it to a C source file. Then your candidate folder is found on the desktop. I go to desktop, then I look for my candidate folder. Always save your work in your candidate folder. So now I'm inside my candidate folder, so I click on save. Okay, so it has saved, it has compiled, no errors, so it has run. Now in the question they say I should compile, I should execute using the following test data: u to be 11 and q to be 7, and I should write down the results in the line below. So they say enter the unit price as u 11 and q 7. They say the total is 77. So that's what I'm going to write here in the space below. Print the source code of your program. So also to print it, what you can do a print screen, control print screen, and you paste it in your Word document. You paste it in your Word document, which contains all your printout. Okay, you paste it here. Okay, so that's it. Okay, continue the question. Print the source code of your program. Okay, so that's what we did. So okay, that was all for ICT Day 1 June 2022 paper 3. So if you learn something new, to subscribe, like, share and comment. You can also share with a friend. It can be of help to a friend. Yeah.